I've heard other businesses in our industry put cash in shoeboxes in a closet, safes in a basement, holes in the ground. The biggest challenge to our business is banking, by far.
I'm afraid that someone is going to get killed before the federal government wakes up.
As long as we have that much cash on the streets, it will remain tempting. We're kind of asking for it.
We grow old thinking about how safe our money is. It's a nightmare, and we live it every day.
We're getting close.
Lost $2,000.
20s make the world go round.
Yeah, they do. Banks won't even let me exchange them for hundreds anymore.
Yeah, it's all in there.
Awesome, we're all good. Sweet. We could just get a paid cash signature and we're good. Is there like, should I always just be looking at you the whole time? Okay. This is where we start all of our plants. We root them. We've got cuttings, which are copies of clones. From there, they get taller in these smaller pots, and they'll grow up, as you can see, in a bit of a succession. And then they go on the floor over here to where they will get transplanted into larger pots. And once they're at a certain height and age, we'll send them out to flower. And that's where they'll begin to start producing the buds and the trichomes for getting high and all the many different forms it allows.
Sour poison?
Yeah, I like that.
Want to try that one?
Do that, yeah.
And you're familiar with how to dose yourself out with that?
That's it. Yeah.
Is business good?
Business is great. Carrying Kind's Boulder's first recreational marijuana dispensary. From last year, we've grown 7.5 times. I've been able to go from 3 employees to 12 now. And we could afford to buy a brand new 4-bedroom home every year with the tax revenue alone that we send to the state. But yet we can't bank at all. We can't get a checking account, credit cards. We can't get mortgages to secure property. We've had over 12 bank accounts in the last 6 years, and to date, they've all been shut down.
Marijuana is illegal under federal law. And even state-chartered banks are ruled by federal bank regulatory agencies. And there's no way to get around the very explicit statement in the Controlled Substances Act that it's illegal to deal in those controlled substances or the proceeds therefrom. Literally, the acceptance of the deposit by the bank is money laundering itself.
How much of your revenue comes in cash?
100% of our revenue comes in cash.
There you are. Right on. And if you can't get a bank account, where do you put the money?
In very secure, discreet locations, unfortunately cannot tell you about. This is federal taxes that we pay in cash. Also our payroll, when we pay all 12 employees, they're getting envelopes of cash. These are state taxes, vendor payments that are due to go out for orders of other products like edibles. The other challenge is we have to transport and move money. So this is all money that's due to be transported and moved today, and to our secure location we transport as frequently as possible to lower the risk at any given point of cash on hand in the facility. Driving around with large amounts of cash, tens of thousands, is overwhelming, anxious, scary, frustrating, all those things wrapped into one tense drive, and it never goes away.
There's been a few publicized instances of robberies. Fortunately, nothing has gotten violent yet, but we're kind of asking for it.
And
Since cannabis has been legal.
Yeah, we have seen a crazy growth in revenue.
So you're already a multi-million-dollar.
We are a multi-million-dollar company, that's correct. We've grown from about, I'd say right when we got into this industry, we were doing maybe $5,000 a month to, we're doing upwards of $200,000 a month currently, and we're projecting upwards of $500,000 a month within the next 6 months. Because we're an ancillary business to the cannabis industry, they've shut down bank accounts of ours in the past, literally 4 hours before payroll.
It is very frustrating to not be able to put money in the bank. I mean, we're providing a service for a legitimate business, and the government will take tax dollars, but we can't put money in a bank. There's a double standard there.
We know of 8 banks in the state out of 148 that are accepting deposits, and the regulators have basically said, you can keep this activity limited to this small number of accounts that you've been serving for the last decade, perhaps, under our medical marijuana statute, but you may not expand this to be a major focus of the institution.
Banks that I talk to mainly see that as a yellow light, that we're not telling you you can do it, we're not telling you you can't. That was not enough permission for them to feel comfortable with moving forward.
We do currently have a bank account, and I do expect it to be around, but I am, I'm cautious on that statement.
A very large investment bank that we had all of our banking relationships with decided that they no longer wanted to do business with us. And that investment was $7 million from direct Wall Street investors and private high net worth individuals. Unfortunately, that also affected all of my personal assets, and even went so far as they threatened to shut down my 86-year-old father's investment accounts because he had listed me as a beneficiary.
We've got banking through a management company that we've established that handles our payroll and a very few select bills that have to be paid through a bank account. It's extremely tenuous. We are afraid to call for any kind of customer service. We deal with our banking very, very delicately.
We think that most of our members will enjoy using the drive-through teller lines because they won't have to exit their vehicle and walk on the city street with large amounts of cash. Banking is the lifeblood of any business, and it's a right for a lawful business to have in order to succeed. Fourth Corner Credit Union is the first credit union established for the specific purpose of providing financial services to the legalized cannabis and hemp industries. And now it's simply waiting on its master account from the Federal Reserve Bank. Without a master account, you can't write checks, you can't make electronic payments. You can't sponsor and be a principal for credit card transactions. We need all that.
Is there any way for you to open without the Federal Reserve Bank acting?
The Fourth Corner Credit Union could operate without its master account, but we'd just be a giant safe, and this industry already has plenty of safes.
It's a hellish trip. You're always just kind of hyper alert, hyper aware.
I think Fourth Corner not getting a master account will be a setback. Rather than getting the sort of open approval of the federal government, I think everybody will question, okay, federal government, where are you on this?
It gets a little more comfortable, especially the more we do it with Iron Protection Group. But there's always still that little something that could go wrong.
Cannabis as a product is not a public safety issue. The lack of banking for the industry is a far more dangerous problem.
And obviously the odds are, the more you do it, your chances go down, but we just maintain protocol and have the right proper guys next to us, and that's all we can do.